Business in today's world. Vice President. One morning, as Mr. Goldberg steps into the office, he hears his phone ringing.
Why is there no one in my office? Hello?
Hello, Mr. Goldberg?
Speaking.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Goldberg. This is Linda.
What's happened? Are you ill?
Yes, I'm afraid I've come down with the flu, and I'm calling to let you know that I won't be able to come to work today.
As soon as he hangs up, there's another call.
This is Roger Palmer of JRC Tokyo. I'm calling to ask if you've sent back the damaged unit you want replaced.
Yes, in fact, quite some time ago.
Is that right? We've been expecting them, but so far nothing has come. Would you mind checking the shipping date?
No, of course not. I'll find out and call you back.
Just then the accountant, Mr. Clifford, comes in.
I have something important to discuss with you.
Oh, what is it?
When I was checking the books, I noticed a suspicious discrepancy. I don't know if you want to speak to, or simply keep an eye on whoever's been handling the bank accounts.
Oh, what next? You mean someone's been fiddling with the books?
Later in the company cafeteria.
Mr. Hughes has changed lately, hasn't he?
Well, I know he's bought a fancy new car, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sure that impresses all the women. But not only that, he's been gambling more than usual, and I think he generally loses. You add that to his liquor bill, and it comes to a tidy sum.
Well, he's got plenty of money. He's a vice president, after all, you know.
Vice president is right.
The Drinkwaters Diary. A pretty girl. The Drinkwaters are still exploring the huge Epcot Center in Florida. At the pier.
Excuse me, where does this take us?
It'll take you to Japan, France, and the UK.
Now I understand why the tickets here are called passports.
A little later.
Welcome aboard the Epcot Center Special Ferry, the Queen Mary. This is your Captain Roy Cook. We are happy to take you on an around-the-world trip. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Can you tell me why ships and boats are referred to as she?
Well, as a man and a captain who loves his ship, it's just natural for me. Now, a famous Japanese torii is coming into view to the left. The Eiffel Tower is right ahead of us.
Can we go up to the top of the tower?
I'm afraid you can't, dear, but you can see a very interesting mime show in the French pavilion.
Later, as they visit one pavilion after another.
Oh, there's so much to see.
Can I ride on that double-decker bus?
Yeah, let's. That's a lot quicker than walking.
I want to go on top.
On the bus.
The next stop is for Italy and Germany.
Is this how a British double-decker looked a long time ago, Dad? There's no roof on top.
Yes, I once saw a classic one like this in an English movie. It was just like this.
What if it rains?
We get wet.
Later, on the way back.
Oh, looks like what we've seen today is still just the tip of the iceberg.
Yes, we haven't seen anything in the future world in the Magic Kingdom.
Let's come back for that. Tomorrow is another day.
I'm for that. I'm tired. Let's take that courtesy tram back to the parking area.
As they leave in their car.
Watch out, Brian. Too late.
Brian, you bumped the curb again. Didn't you look in the mirror?
Dad, didn't you see that pretty girl pass by?
A trip with Grandma and Grandpa. Work and play. This week, the Hoshiyamas are finishing their trip with a visit to Granada, Spain. Judy, a granddaughter of the Whitneys, meets them in the hotel lobby.
Welcome to Granada. I'm so glad you've managed to come here all the way from Japan.
Nice to see you again, Judy. You're the last person we would have expected to see in Spain.
Yes, it's just unbelievable for us to be getting together here. What brought you to this part of the world, Judy?
I'm teaching English in a local school as an assistant. It's one of the requirements for my university work.
I see. So you're reading Spanish at university?
Yes, I am.
So you speak Spanish?
And I still remember some Japanese, though it's getting a bit rusty. What would you like to do this afternoon?
We have two things in mind, to see Alhambra, and then this evening we'd like to see flamenco.
That sounds like a perfect day. Let's be on our way.
Later, as they're going up the hill towards Alhambra.
Oh, I see some interesting gift shops around here.
By the way, did you know this area is famous for its guitars?
Oh, is it really?
I might buy one. I play the guitar a little, you know.
Just think, tonight for the first time we're going to hear real flamenco music.
Yes, we're going to a local tablao late this evening.
I can hardly wait. I've wanted to see flamenco ever since I was a little girl.
After a little while, inside Alhambra.
Incidentally, does Alhambra mean anything?
In Arabic, it means the red. The color of the bricks used to build the outer walls is red, and so perhaps that's why. This is the famous lion's patio.
Oh, this is it. It's lovely. Look at those lions supporting the fountain.
Mr. Hoshiyama, do you know what plays when it works and works when it plays? Another look at Japan. A visit to Hiroshima. This week, Kevin is visiting Ryoko in her hometown, Hiroshima.
I'm glad you made a stopover in our city on the way back.
I really wanted to come visit here once anyway. It's so famous because of its tragic history, I'm afraid.
That's not the only thing that makes our city unique, Kevin. See these streetcars?
Yes, I was just about to comment on them.
They were collected from all over the country, and even from some European cities.
No kidding.
That one's from Tokyo, and this one's from Kobe.
How can you tell?
The name of the city is shown on the side.
Oh, yes, I see. Even though they're in actual operation, it's just like visiting a museum.
Let's take a ride on one and go to Peace Memorial Park. You can visit the monument and the Memorial Museum there.
Good idea.
Later, as they are walking out of the museum.
Ryoko, I genuinely want to thank you for bringing me to Peace Memorial Park.
You don't have to say anything, Kevin. Let's walk over to the dome.
At the dome.
This skeleton of a building is the only building left.
So it's been preserved as a reminder of the horror of war. What does that stone say?
It says that the explosion of the bomb took place about 600 meters right above this dome.
That was one of the darkest days in human history.
That evening, at a local seafood restaurant.
There's another thing that makes our hometown famous. That's good oysters.
Oh, I'm crazy about oysters.
Oh, good.
Good evening. What would you like? We can cook and serve any seafood any way you like in 3 minutes. If we can't, your meal will be free of charge.
Okay. Oysters. Not too large or too small, too cold or too tough or too salty. I want them cold, and I want them at once.
Yes, sir. With or without pearls?
Paul, the new foreign exchange student, is getting used to Japan, which is going to be his home for the year. Of course, everything is new to him, but he seems to be having no problems with sleeping on the floor and eating soup without noodles for breakfast. I wonder if everything Japanese will come as easily for him as eating and sleeping.
それではもう一度全体のスキットをお聞きいただきましょう。Let's get down to page 14. Here we go.
Paul's year with the Yoshidas. Alphabet soup. One afternoon, the phone rings at the Yoshidas.
Mishmishi.
Hello. Is this the Yoshida residence?
Yes, it is. This is Mrs. Yoshida speaking. Is this Paul?
Yes, it is. I've just arrived at the air terminal downtown.
Welcome to Japan. Isn't Mr. Yoshida there?
No, I don't think so. At least I haven't been able to find him.
Don't worry, Paul. I'm sure he'll be there soon.
A few minutes later, at the terminal...
Ah, you must be Paul. Our car broke down and it's still in the garage, so I had to take a taxi. I'm awfully sorry I'm late.
That's all right. It's nice to meet you, Mr. Yoshida.
Did you have a nice flight?
Yes, very smooth and comfortable. We were fed constantly. I'm really full.
That's good. Well, shall we go? My daughter Erica's waiting by the taxi stand.
On the way home...
This taxi is much nicer than the ones in New York.
Is it?
Yes. New York taxis are not as clean as this. Sometimes the upholstery is even coming apart.
Really?
Boy, it seems strange driving on this side of the street.
I suppose it does.
The following morning...
Did you have a good night's sleep?
Yes, I did. I slept on futon for the first time.
Good. We hope you like breakfast, too.
A little later...
This soup is good. I've never had soup for breakfast before.
By the way, do you really have alphabet soup in America?
Sure. That's how you make people eat their words.
Okay.
Business around the world. Yesterday's paper. Derek Hamilton is a sales manager of an American firm in Japan. One day in his office...
Oh, there's so much work to do. How many more appointments do I have this morning, Pat?
Let me see. 3. You have a dental appointment at 11:30 as well.
Oh, yes. It always seems to be on a busy day.
Mr. Asano of C&D is waiting outside.
Okay. Show him in, please.
Hello, Mr. Hamilton.
Hello, Mr. Asano. It's nice to see you again. Please, have a seat.
Thank you. Good to see you again, too.
How's business with you, Mr. Asano? I understand there's been considerable interest abroad in your new models.
Yes, more than we'd expected. In fact, we're looking for an agent for the American market. If you read yesterday's newspaper, you'll find an interesting article about its prospects.
As I mentioned last week, the chairman of the board is coming to Japan next month.
Oh, is he?
And if possible, he wants to meet with someone from your company for further discussion.
I see. I'm sure we can arrange something.
Good.
Later that day...
Oh, what a busy day today was. Anything else, Pat?
Please sign these forms for the bank, and that's all.
Oh, yes. Where's yesterday's paper?
I think I wrapped the garbage in it.
I wanted to see it.
There isn't much to see. Just some orange peels and coffee grounds.
Paul's year with the Yoshidas. Another first. One afternoon, the Yoshida family are chatting in the living room when Paul comes home.
Hi, Paul. How was your day?
Fine. I'm getting used to the crowded train.
Good. How's your school?
Oh, I like it very much.
Did you sign up for any extracurricular activities?
Yes. I joined the basketball club.
Did you?
Would you like some Japanese tea?
Yes, please.
I just remembered there's something I wanted to ask. I saw some streamers blowing in the wind. What are they for?
Oh, they're carp streamers. We customarily fly them to celebrate Children's Day, which is on May 5th.
They look really nice.
A little later, they go out into the garden.
There's so many flowers in your garden.
Well, Dad enjoys gardening.
I can see that. What are those flowers?
Oh, they're Japanese irises. They're also associated with Children's Day. Some people put the leaves in the water of the bathtub and bathe that way. Let's put some in the bath tonight. They're supposed to help keep us healthy.
That evening, at the dinner table,
Did you enjoy the bath?
Yes, it was fun, but a little too hot for me.
Paul, this is sushi. I'll show you how to eat it.
Okay. This is another first for me.
Wow.
business around the world, as scheduled. This morning, Mr. Hamilton is in his office making a call.
Hello, this is Derek Hamilton of Ampro. May I speak to Mr. Asano, please?
Speaking. Hello, Mr. Hamilton. What can I do for you?
As scheduled, the chairman of the board, Mr. Pennington, arrived last night. So I'd like to confirm his appointment with Mr. Takeda.
Okay. I'll check on it and call you back.
Mr. Asano calls back.
Ampro, Mr. Hamilton's office. May I help you?
This is Toshio Asano of C&D. Is Mr. Hamilton there?
He's not at his desk at the moment. May I take a message?
Yes. Please tell him that the meeting between Mr. Pennington and our president will take place as originally scheduled.
I certainly will, Mr. Asano.
Later, in Mr. Hamilton's office,
Pat, I need your help.
What can I do for you, Mr. Hamilton?
What was the name of our new overseas market research person?
Barbara Sullivan.
Oh, yes. Please go to her office and get the latest information about the Korean market.
All right. And aren't we getting an interpreter for the meeting tomorrow?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me, Pat.
I'll take care of that too, Mr. Hamilton.
Aren't you efficient? By the way, Pat, I like your necklace.
Oh, thank you. You know why it's so long?
No. Why?
Because these are worry beads.
business around the world. A tip to Mr. Sakata of C&D is on a business trip to New York. At the hotel,
Yes?
I have a reservation.
Your name is?
Ryuji Sakata.
Yes, Mr. Sakata. 4 nights, is that right?
Yes, from Tuesday through Friday.
Please fill out this form. How will you settle your bill?
Credit card, please.
later, in his room,
Hello?
Is this Mr. Sakata?
Yes, it is.
Hello, Mr. Sakata. This is Ron McCarthy. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Yes, it certainly has.
Welcome to the Big Apple. I'm just calling to discuss your schedule.
Ah, thank you. I've been expecting your call.
the following morning, in the hotel dining room,
Good morning. Would you like some coffee?
Yes, please.
Would you like to order?
I think I'd like the ham and eggs. And the grapefruit juice, please.
How would you like your eggs?
I'd like them poached.
after breakfast, he goes out of the hotel to take a taxi.
May I get in?
Yes. Where to, sir?
55th and 7th.
Okay. Are you from Japan?
Yes.
Konnichiwa. Oh, Genki.
After a while,
How much?
Well, can you beat that? I had the meter going backward, and I owe you $1.50.
And is there a tip, too?
travel in focus, a change and a rest. Last night, Junko and Daisuke arrived in Washington, D.C. This morning, at the front desk of their hotel,
Good morning. May I help you?
Good morning. Yes, thank you. Do you have a map of the city?
All we have is this. If you'd like one with more detail, you can get one at the newsstand over there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
a few minutes later at the tour desk.
Good morning. Would you like to take a tour?
Yes, we would. Which one goes to the Smithsonian and the Ford Theater?
Let's see, this one. It's a full-day tour starting at 9 and coming back around 4. We'll come and pick you up right outside the hotel.
Sounds good.
Okay. 2, please.
Later on the bus.
We're making our first stop at the Smithsonian's National Air and Space Museum.
It's rather new, isn't it?
No, it was founded in 1946.
Are we allowed to take pictures?
There are some places where you can. The highlight is that you can see and touch a rock brought back from the moon. They say it's over 3 billion years old.
Later.
Now, folks, how many of you are on vacation? Oh, so many. I wish I could take one. You know something?
No? What?
I went to a hotel just for a change and a rest.
Well, that sounds nice.
But you know what happened? The bellboy got the change, and the hotel got the rest.
Let's turn to page 36. Here we go.
Paul's year with the Yoshidas. With a bow. One Sunday morning, Paul finds Mr. Yoshida practicing kendo in the yard.
Good morning, Mr. Yoshida.
Good morning, Paul.
Is this your Sunday morning exercise?
Yes. I haven't been getting enough practice lately. Do you want to join me?
Oh, thanks. Hi, Erica.
Hi, Paul. Is your kendo getting any better?
Well, I wonder if I'll ever be half as good as your dad.
I know what. Why don't we all go to the local gym and practice together?
I think that's a good idea.
Oh, but Paul doesn't have a kendo outfit.
I'm sure we have an extra one.
Do you really? Gee, thanks a lot.
Breakfast is ready. Erica, come and help me put things on the table. Okay, I'm coming.
Later, as they arrive at the gym.
This is a very nice gym. Is it open to the public?
Yes, though we have to pay a small fee each time we use it. The locker room is at the end of this hall.
In a few minutes.
Now, let's begin with a basic exercise called kirikaeshi. You know how to do it?
Let me show Paul how. Just try and follow what I do, okay, Paul?
Okay.
After a little while, during a break.
You're doing pretty well.
Thank you. But my technique is still terrible. Gosh, Mr. Yoshida, you seem to be able to do almost anything with a sword.
Well, the more important thing is the spiritual aspect. We say kendo begins with a bow and ends with a bow.
Business around the world. Less experience. Today, Mr. Hamilton wants to hire a new employee for his department. Pat is busy answering the phone.
Hello, Mr. Hamilton's office. May I help you?
Yes. My name is Susumu Maki, and I'm responding to the advertisement in the paper. Is the position still open?
Yes, it is. Do you meet all the requirements given in the paper?
I think so. I'm very interested in the type of work your company does.
Can you come for an interview at 3 this afternoon?
Yes, I can.
Please bring your resume, in English, when you come.
Yes, of course. Is there anything else I should bring?
No, just yourself, Mr. Mackey. Mr. Hamilton, head manager of the sales department, will meet you for an interview.
I see. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Goodbye for now.
Meanwhile, Mr. Hamilton's talking with Ms. Sullivan, an overseas market research person.
As I was saying, the Korean market has great potential, but it'll take some time to develop it.
So you mean it's better to concentrate on the Japanese market?
For now, yes. And to do that, we definitely need some Japanese staff to advise us on business practice.
Later in the interview,
Can you tell me why you're interested in this line of work?
Yes, there are two reasons. One, it has good prospects for the future. Two, my academic background is in this area.
Well, to turn to the starting salary, I think what you're asking for is pretty high for someone who has so little experience.
Yes, but the less experience you have, the harder the work is.
welcome to the Watsons, the biggest fish ever. Summer vacation is now at its peak in America. Let's join the Watsons at Yellowstone, the world's first national park. As they arrive...
What's the admission, please?
$1 each, sir.
All right.
Thank you. Enjoy the wildlife. Where are we heading for first, dear?
Old Faithful. We're staying near there.
Can we really see some wild animals, Dad?
We sure can.
Later, as they're watching a geyser...
It's almost time for it to spout. Let's get closer and sit on those benches.
There it goes.
Gosh, it went up so high. It's otherworldly.
What is it?
Hot water coming up from the earth.
Why does it do that?
Well, that's a good question.
We'll see a movie later at the film center which explains all about geysers.
Later, they drive around hoping to see some wild animals.
Why are there so many pine trees dying around here, Dad?
Because pine beetles are eating up their bark.
That's too bad.
Oh, there's a buffalo right ahead of us.
Where?
Right over there.
Oh, it's grazing near the roadside. Let's take a picture.
Don't get too close, dear.
I won't.
The following morning, Mr. Watson and Mark go fishing.
Mark, hold the rod and cast it this way. Okay?
Okay.
After a while...
Oh, I've got a bite.
Reel it in slowly. Easy.
It sure is a big one. It's a cutthroat trout. This is the biggest I've ever caught. Dad, what's the biggest you've ever caught?
You'd better ask your mother. I've forgotten what I told her.
Travel in focus. Keep off the grass. The tour Junko and Daisuke joined makes its first stop at the National Air and Space Museum.
Ladies and gentlemen, first we're going to see a movie called To Fly. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Please stay together and follow me.
Oh, what a display.
Excuse me, is that the Wright brothers airplane?
Yes, it is. It's called the Kitty Hawk Flyer.
We must come back later and take its picture.
After seeing the movie...
How did you like it?
I felt like a bird.
I still feel as if I were flying.
I wish I knew how they filmed it.
Now, folks, please feel free to go wherever you like and to see whatever you like. Be sure and come back in an hour.
Excuse me, where's the restroom?
It's down this hall on the left.
After a little while...
This place certainly has a large collection, hasn't it?
Yes, it's very impressive.
Which one is Lindbergh's plane?
That one. It says Spirit of St. Louis on its side, you see?
Oh, yes, so it does.
By himself, he flew from New York to Paris in 1927. It was the first non-stop transatlantic flight.
Later, back on the tour bus...
Are we all here? Now, folks,
Our next stop is the Capitol.
Can we go inside?
Yes, we can. By the way, did you know I used to be a parachute jumper? Guess what the most difficult thing about it is?
You never know where you're going to land.
Right. Once I came down where there was a sign. Keep off the grass.
Travel in focus. Gettysburg. This week, let's join Daisuke and Junko as they visit Gettysburg. They're going with Steve, the man they got acquainted with on the plane. On the way in his car...
I'm really glad you called me. Thank you for driving us to Gettysburg. Oh, the pleasure's mine.
Please forgive my ignorance, but is Gettysburg the name of the cemetery?
Yes, and it's the name of the little town near which the famous Civil War battle took place. Well, here we are. The air is certainly fresh here. Let's go to the visitors center first. We can get some information about what to see and do. Okay.
A little later...
Excuse me, what's the electric map? It's a big map with more than 600 lights. It shows the troops' movements, so you can easily follow the battle. There's also a taped description that goes with it.
Well, I think we're ready for our tour of the battlefield now.
Yes, let's go see it.
Okay, we'll drive around following the recommendations of this auto tour map. Our first stop is high water mark.
Some time later...
Oh, look at those cannons. They're bronze 12-pound Napoleon cannons.
Were they actually used in the war?
Yes, and by both sides. Let's get out and have a closer look at them.
Towards the end of the drive...
Have we passed by the site of the famous Gettysburg Address?
Not yet. We're almost there. Let's park the car in here and walk up to it.
After a little while...
This is the actual site where Lincoln delivered his famous speech. I can almost hear him saying, that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
Paul's year with the Yoshidas. A Japanese wedding. Today, Paul is attending a Japanese wedding with the Yoshidas. After the ceremony...
That was really different. I've never seen anything like it before. Thank you for letting me come with you.
I was impressed, too. It was a lovely ceremony. Oh, here comes the bride and bridegroom.
What are they going to do next?
I think they'll be photographed with their relatives and then attend the reception.
Later, at the reception...
Who are those people sitting next to the bride and the bridegroom?
They're go-betweens, or matchmakers, you might say.
Oh, I see. What do they do now?
Well, they make the first official announcement of their wedding.
Yes?
Then they'll tell us about the newlyweds and their family backgrounds. He's about to begin.
After a little while...
Now, Paul, watch the bride leave the table while the bridegroom still remains seated.
Why do they do that?
It's called Oiro Naoshi. She'll soon be back dressed in another beautiful kimono, or some other lovely gown. The idea is to show the bride at her best to the guests.
Gee, I think I'd be embarrassed to leave in the middle and go change my clothes.
Just then it starts to rain quite hard and the wind starts blowing too.
Sounds like the typhoon is coming.
This is terrible weather for them to go on a honeymoon.
It sure is, but I'm not surprised. It's often like this at this time of the year.
Well, but it can be a sign of good luck.
Oh, why?
Well, as an old Japanese saying goes, ame futeji katamaru, which in English means something like, a difficult experience can make a relationship stronger.
Welcome to the Watsons, a day at the fair. This week, we join the Watsons as they visit the local county fair exhibition of farm products and livestock. As they arrive...
Look at the crowd. That's probably because it's a Sunday and the last day of the fair.
Shall we go see the livestock first?
Okay. Where is it?
Looks like it's on the other side.
Cindy, stay with us or you'll get lost.
A little later,
Wow, look at that big cow.
Yeah. Here it says it's the largest cow ever raised in the county.
It gives about 8 gallons of milk a day.
I wonder how much it eats every day.
I don't know, but I'm thirsty.
Oh, you can have some fresh milk free at that counter, dear.
Is it really fresh?
Fresh? 3 hours ago, it was grass.
later in the amusement area,
What's that man doing with that big scale?
Now, folks, why not let me guess your weight? Only $1 for one guess. If I guess it wrong, you win. You can have any prize on this shelf.
What if he gets it right?
Then I win, and you get nothing. Fair deal? You want to try? Only $1.
I don't know.
Mark, don't. It's a ripoff.
towards the end of the day,
Have we seen everything we wanted to?
Almost, yes.
I'd like to go back to the flower and vegetable exhibits if we have time.
Okay.
a little later,
The flowers really are pretty, aren't they?
Dad, what's this flower?
I think it belongs to the begonia family.
I didn't ask who owns it. I asked what its name is.
travel in focus, the Windy City. Junko and Daisuke backtrack to America's second largest city, Chicago, to meet their friend Bill Campbell.
If you're not tired, let me drive you around the city before going to your hotel.
Oh, thank you. Please do.
We're passing through the Loop.
Passing through the what?
The Loop, the central area of the city. It originally meant the elevated loop train, but these days it's synonymous with the center of the city.
Oh, is it?
Probably you'll soon see the train. Look, there goes one right above us. We call that train the L.
Do you?
Take a look at that building on your right. Haven't you seen it somewhere else?
Oh, it looks like one in Tokyo. What a strange feeling.
If it weren't for the wind, I'd think we were in Tokyo.
Yes, this is the Windy City, all right.
Later, as they arrive at their hotel,
Thanks for showing us around, Bill.
You're welcome. I have to get back to the office now, but I'll come back later. We'd like to invite you to dinner tonight.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
I'd love to see Maggie again.
It's our pleasure to have you. Maggie can't wait to see the two of you.
We have something for her from Japan that we think she'll like.
And some sake for you, Bill.
I was counting on that.
later, on their way to Bill's home, they have a bird's eye view of the city in the twilight.
Oh, what a beautiful evening view.
We're in the world's tallest building.
Are we? How tall is it?
443 meters.
That's much taller than Tokyo Tower.
Yes, it is.
Oh, look at Lake Michigan.
It looks like an ocean.
Oh, I have a riddle for you. Do you know what's in water, but not in a lake or an ocean?
Paul's year with the Yoshidas, the 100-meter dash. One morning at the breakfast table,
There's a track meet at school next Sunday. Would you like to come see it? Sally's coming.
Sure, I'd love to. We'll root for you.
What events are you in, Paul?
The 100-meter dash, the relay, and the high jump.
You must be a good athlete.
Well, I can't say that.
on the day of the meet,
What's next? The 100-meter dash final. Paul's in it. Where is he? Right over there, second from the left. Oh, yes, I see.
There they go.
I hope he wins. Me too. Come on, Paul. Go, quick. He's getting ahead. He's leading. Oh, he won.
He sure did.
Good for him.
Later, during lunchtime, as they're picnicking,
Congratulations, Paul. I didn't know you were such a good sprinter.
Thanks. But I was just lucky.
You're just modest.
Please help yourself to whatever you like. There are onigiri or sushi and sandwiches.
Thank you. Boy, I'm hungry.
Food tastes so good outside.
How about something to drink, Sally?
Oh, thank you.
later in the afternoon, they're watching Paul's high jump.
Is this his second trial? No, his third.
Come on, Paul.
Oh, he cleared it. That leaves 4 finalists.
The sky's getting so dark. It looks like rain.
Well, everything's almost over. In fact, it's probably better if it does rain.
Why?
I think we could all use a 100-meter dash to the car.
Ah, you mean to wear off some of that picnic?
Welcome to the Watsons. Trick or treat. Let's visit the Watson children as they get ready for Halloween. In the living room.
What are you doing, kids? Are you making something?
Yes. You know what tomorrow night is, Dad.
Oh, you're getting ready for Halloween.
Yes, I'm making a witch's mask. Look, Daddy.
Oh, that's scary. What on earth are you making, Mark?
A Frankenstein costume. John's having a party.
Just then, Maureen walks in.
Here's the pumpkin for our jack-o'-lantern.
By the way, Dad, why is a Halloween pumpkin called jack-o'-lantern?
Well, people in Ireland say that once a man called Jack died and was so stingy he couldn't get into heaven. So he had to walk around the earth to find a place to go, carrying a lantern. And he became known as Jack-o'-lantern.
Oh, I see. I never knew that.
Halloween night.
I hope we won't have a wild evening. I don't think we will.
Halloween has been rather quiet these past few years. We used to pull some crazy stunts when we were young.
You mean when you were young. Such as?
Well, we put wax on people's windows and dumped garbage all over the yard of anybody who didn't give us a treat.
Soon there's the sound of children outside.
Here they come.
I'll get it.
Trick or treat!
Oh, help! I'm scared to death.
Here's your treat. Cookies and candies. Who could all these strange creatures be?
Mrs. Watson spots a little girl dressed like a witch, but with no mask on.
Why aren't you wearing your witch's mask?
Because I'm afraid of it.
Travel in focus. Enough room. Nhk and Daisuke have left the United States and arrived in London. At Heathrow Airport.
Hello, Junko, Daisuke. How super to see you both again.
Hello, Philip. It's wonderful to see you, too.
It's great to be able to see you in London. This is my wife, Carol.
Hello. Welcome to England. I'm delighted to meet you. Philip has told me so much about you that I feel like I already know you.
A little later, in their car.
I expect you'd like to rest first after your flight, wouldn't you?
No, that's all right, thank you. It was a very smooth and relaxing flight.
I'd like to see some of London on the way if it's not too much trouble. Not in the least.
If we go via St. James, we might be able to see the changing of the guard, Philip.
Would you like to see it?
Yes, we'd love to.
As they pass by the mall.
Look at all those guards marching along.
Where are they going?
To Buckingham Palace, to replace the ones in an earlier watch.
Those mounted ones are the horse guards.
Are they? Do you mind if I get out of the car to take some pictures?
No, of course not. You should be able to get some good shots here.
Later, at a pub,
This is a typical English pub.
Oh, it's nice and cozy.
Would you like to try some English beer? Yes, please.
I would, too.
I'll get you some food, too.
a little later,
This is Philip's favorite. It's called Ploughman's Lunch. We hope you like it.
Carol, do you want to join me in a glass of beer?
Is there enough room?
Please.
It's someone you know. If not, the chances are good that I will be. I operate from house to house sometimes, but I'm not a salesman. Most people are sorry I was there once I leave. In fact, most people know they don't want me at their house, but they keep inviting me anyway. That's right. I said inviting. Oh, it's not the usual type of invitation, and they don't really realize that they're making it, but it is an invitation. Make no mistake about that. The invitation is something like a stack of newspapers on the front porch. Very often, it's just an unlocked door or window, or better yet, a house key that they think is hidden in a safe place. I think you've got the picture now. I'm a burglar, and sooner or later I'll get to your house, if you keep inviting me.
One night with a stranger.
You're listening to a bit of the new album by singer-songwriter Martin Briley, a name you may not have heard before. But no, this isn't a story about Briley. It's a story about Peter Coleman, the man who produced the record. Coleman's is a name I'll bet you haven't heard before. But then he says,
in Europe, the role of the producer is put in much more of like a background role. Not that he is, you know what I mean, but he appears that way. Here, in many cases, I mean, the producer can almost become as famous as the artist itself, which I happen to disagree with.
in case his accent didn't tell you, Coleman also happens to be European, English to be precise. He now lives in Los Angeles, producing albums for singers like Briley and Pat Benatar. But he spent 5 years in the 70s as an engineer for the well-known English production team of Mike Chapman and Nicky Chinn.
I like to think of myself that I was one of the first people to start recording drums in a much more open way, as opposed to just putting the drums in like a drum booth about the size of this room, actually taking the drum over and sticking them in the middle of an aircraft hangar, and sticking a mic 300 feet away. I like to think, that I was